I feel like this is the show of the summer. This is the show I talk to people about the most. Everybody's enjoying it. I know you filmed it in Chicago in the winter,
Yes,
so
sir.
a bit of time.
Yes.
How does it feel though, the response?
Man, it's so nice. Like we were trying to make a show, I think, where like back of house and the kitchen industry would kind of like give us a head nod, and I hoped maybe we'd have like a niche audience that would enjoy it enough that we could keep doing more. But I'm incredibly overwhelmed by how it's really connected with so many people, man. It feels good.
You play sort of a renowned chef who returns to a family business
Yeah.
making sandwiches. It is the kitchen scenes are so chaotic.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the reasons people are so energized by watching it is everybody loves eating food, and the idea of getting to watch like what actually goes through, even just to make a beef sandwich.
Absolutely. Every restaurant now that I look at is a miracle. Like especially in cities like New York, Chicago, LA. I had no idea just how much went into it. And yeah, it's incredible. I have a lot of respect. I've spent a lot of time now with chefs, cooks, and the sacrifice of time, the commitment, loss of like personal life. It's astounding, man. It's commendable.
I know you did some training in
Yeah.
working kitchens while you're preparing.
Oh, yeah.
Did the chefs appreciate you were an actor, but also hate you a little bit when you were slow?
Yeah, I walked into every kitchen apologizing, just like, I'm sorry I'm here too, but like, please be patient with me.
So these Italian beef sandwiches, they look so good on the show.
Yeah,
I would imagine that you had to eat your fair share of them.
I ate a lot of them on set. I'm also a big fan. I've spent a lot of time in Chicago over the years, and I love the sandwich. Like, it is what like the Philly cheesesteak is for Philly. It's like, it's really important to the culture there in Chicago. I ate a lot of hot dogs, a lot of Italian beefs, dozens.
Yeah.
A gross amount.
We had an intern run out. There's a place in Brooklyn called Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, whoa.
And so these are their Italian beef sandwiches.
Oh, wow.
We've heard good things. I mostly just want to. Here's why I really want to do this,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
heard they're good. I want to take a bite of an Italian beef sandwich next to you and make the face that the people on the show make every time they eat one of your sandwiches. That's my favorite part of the show.
Sure. Here,
All
cheers.
right, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Here we go.
This is a Chicago custom. You cheers your sandwich.
That's what you do. And then they never take another bite. It's like it's so good that
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah, that's how
That's
it's gonna
fine.
work here now. I'm not gonna let you have another bite. I'm gonna take them home with me. You on the show, your character calls everybody chef, and
chef.
Everybody calls you chef.
Yes, chef.
And you explain it. It's like the sign of respect of everybody in the profession. Have people started yelling out to you, "Hey, chef," yet?
yes, chef. Yes, I have this restaurant I love to go to in my neighborhood here in New York. It's called Rolo's. Again, if you guys are in the neighborhood, go check it out. And I go there all the time, so they know me a little bit. But 3 days after the show came out, I went there. Everybody, chef. Yes, chef. And it's so nice because, like, again, kind of what I was saying before, like, we connected, I think, with the back of house and the industry in a way that I think the show seems real to them. And I don't know if that's been done yet. And so, yeah, I feel very lucky to be able to walk into a restaurant and not be booed out, but to be called, yes, chef.
You have fantastic hair, and your acting in this is wonderful. Your hair alone, because it's all over the place. Like, I feel like your hair in a kitchen is like where it was meant to be.
For sure,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I agree. I read this book, Marco Pierre White's book, and there's this photo of him on the front of the book, and he's got all this long hair, and so I was like, I really want to grow my hair out and kind of have a little nod to Marco Pierre White, and so I did it. I thought it looked great on the show, but it's weird. A lot of people are calling out, and they're not wrong, that I should have been wearing a cap. I should have been wearing like something because like so much of Carmi's hair is probably in all those sandwiches.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. But yet, every time people take a bite, they don't seem to mind.
Right.
So,
and how I can't put a hat on
Yeah.
this hair. I got
It always looks like the hair that if you needed something from somebody and you asked them and they had that hair, you'd be like, oh, you're not right. You can't handle this.
Sure,
Yeah.
yes.
You have the hair of somebody who's one task past what they can deal with.
Totally, yes. The entirety of the show is yes.
I'm so excited for the 3rd season of The Bear. Congratulations. I'm also very excited because you directed an episode this year.
Yes, I did. I directed an
That
episode.
seems like, I would assume based on how beautifully the show captures the chaos of a kitchen, it must be different than directing any other show.
For sure. We also shoot so quickly. And like Chris is very like, amazing, 2nd take, cool, we're happy, right? And you're sometimes like, wait, what? No. But so we shoot really quickly, but our crew is just the best. They've all worked on a lot of like Chicago shows, a lot of procedurals, so they just like know everything in the world, I think. And yeah, it was really, really a blast. I had like a mini director school with Robert Townsend, who plays my dad.
Who's a
who's
brilliant director.
Amazing director, iconic director. And he took me out to lunch and he was like, let's talk about directing. If there's any questions, anything you want to know, like, let's have a sit down. And I was like, perfect. Like, I'll just listen to this man tell me stories and I will learn. And that is that. And we showed up and he had like pieces of paper for me and a pencil. And he was like, draw us right now. How would you direct it?
Wow.
I was like, what?
That's amazing.
It was great. And then we were just like walking around this restaurant we were sitting in, and he was like, okay, where would you shoot it from? How would you shoot this man eating lunch by himself? And I'm like, hello, man.
At what point did they ask you to leave the restaurant?
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately.
Immediately. Yeah.
I'm very happy you're here. You were booked to come right when the strike started. I was about to get you on the show.
Okay.
And so I'm glad we fixed it because you're an Emmy winner. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
It was very, I will say,
Okay.
I'm assuming the same for you. One of the really special things is you were not the sole winner from the show, and it does seem like you guys have a real family atmosphere around the Bears. So it must have been cool, like one after another. You guys
Yeah,
all
that
here.
was the nice thing about that night, is that it did feel like a big team kind of win. And I think Jeremy won, and then maybe about 15 minutes later, me, and then we all, there's so many things to do backstage there, so we kind of get backed up, and I would run. When I ran back, give her a hug. It was nice. It was a special night. It was nice.
This is a show where I feel like people think they know the characters very well. You're walking around Brooklyn. Are people yelling out your name now?
Yeah. I've become like, Brooklyn's cousin, I feel like, in a way, like, I'm just like, it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The show has a unique chaos to it, and I think it's the chaos of a kitchen. But then there was a really special episode this past season, Forks, which was this very quiet episode where...
Yeah.
And was it... I mean, it must have felt so different to film.
Yeah, it was like being on a different show. I felt lonely, kind of. We were in this, this really like, almost, it looks like a science lab, that restaurant. I don't go to many Michelin. I'm not like a big fine dining person, so this kind of austere, intense kind of like aggressive lighting, it was sort of new. I mean, I was working with great actors, but a lot of that was, just me by myself. I'm kind of missing my homies, a little bit. Yeah.
But I guess that it is like a nice parallel to what Cousin Richie was going through as well. Like,
Yeah, for
just
sure.
being away, doing a new thing. So.
Yeah, just like what is this? Like where am I? And also like the way they have the camera department and the directors, they pull different visual references for every episode and for the whole season. And there was a lot of pictures of like 2001 and other sci-fi movies on the mood board for that episode.
We were talking when Jeremy was here, he was saying that he has shadowed chefs. Like he wants to get it exactly right.
Yeah.
Sugar, who you play, you're paying the bills.
Yes.
But you
yeah.
have done the same thing. You have like actually sat and hung out with people who manage restaurants.
Yeah, I did. I went to Houston's in Pasadena and I shadowed the GM there. And I mean, it was just a lot of like standing around and, trying food and, looking over paperwork. And on the show, it is actual paperwork that I'm like doing. So it's profits and losses. And, as an actor, like, I don't know how to do any of that. So I just try like my hardest to give myself tasks that aren't just like, checking boxes and crossing things out and looking really stressed out.
It's so
about
funny
it,
because
but-
I feel like I've read so many articles about like how good like the cooking is just like it'd be so funny to read an article where it's like all the math is wrong.
Right, right.
All the
yeah,
Abby Ellett scenes, the math is like crazy wrong. You had a fantastic episode this year. It was a labor delivery episode. It's called Ice Chips. Highly recommended. And Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays your mother.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole scene is the two of you face to face.
Yeah.
You did this right after you gave birth to your second.
Yeah.
So it was like
my
recent
son, yeah.
history. You just had a delivery.
Yeah,
Was that
yeah.
helpful?
He was 8 months, I think, so I had like a little time. But when I gave birth to him, my mom was in the room, just like Jamie, and she videoed me having contractions.
Did you give her consent for the videoing?
No,
Okay,
now that you mention it. Yeah, so she videoed me having contractions and everything.
Have you watched it?
But yeah, so that
You've gone back and watched
I've
like
gone back-
crowning and.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, for better or worse. Yeah, but that really helped me, get into it and watching, the contractions and just how like that guttural pain, it's so specific, and just trying to emulate what I did IRL.
You were originally brought in to consult and to be a producer. When was the decision made that you should be on the show?
At the same kind of time, like Chris, like when he initially called me, he was just like, "Do you want to act? Like, can you?
Yeah.
Can you?"
Yeah, want and can are very different, Matt. Yeah.
I didn't want to, and I was just like, I think I can.
Yeah.
And it was just like homie stuff. Like it was just like, Chris, I love, and he's just like, dude, I don't want to be a chef, and he's just like, yeah, I don't want you to be a chef either. And he's like, handyman. I'm like, handyman's great. I don't know how to do anything.
How were you with like learning lines? Did that come naturally?
No.
Okay.
You know that it doesn't for me. You can tell. You can tell a mile away. It doesn't come easy for me. No, and I learned very quickly. You have to. Out of respect. Everyone's there.
I'm sorry, you learned you have to learn your lines? Oh my God,
didn't
Maddie.
know. I didn't know.
Maddie, forget
Seth,
about
I didn't know.
cookbooks. This got to be, your next one's to be an acting book. That's
exactly.
What
We
a
have
value, what a valuable
The School
lesson.
of Method. The School of Method Acting.
Method
That's what
acting.
Eben calls it. That's what Eben calls it, because he
Please
just loves
give that
it.
high five to him for me. Yeah.
Eben, we love you.
Yeah.
Acting is hard.
It is.
It is incredibly hard.
But
and
you make it look easy, but I'm glad to know you're putting the work in.
Dude, me and Ricky, who plays Ted, my brother, he will. I'll have 6 words, and we'll run it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
After we're done working for the day, like we go back to my spot, and I'm just like, if I don't have it completely memorized, then I'm torched. Like I tried to wing it a couple times. I'm like sitting next to Jeremy, and he's just like, "You don't know, eh?" And I'm just like, no, I have it. I got it. And he's like, you don't got it, Maddie. We're doing a scene right now. Everyone's standing here. What do you know about the words you were given a couple of months ago? But it's fine.
Yeah.
Chris is my buddy, and I'm an executive producer, and I'm like, shoot it again.
Oh, that's great. You have to use the power. If they give you power, you have to use it against them.
Again, I'll just cut. I'll cut myself.
You'll cut yourself.
I'll be like, cut. I'm not good. I'm not good right now.
Cut. I gotta go talk to myself.
Yeah.
But it does, I mean, it does seem like a very loving and supportive group of people, but also they take it seriously, and I
Yes.
feel like you all
Yes.
elevate each other.
Absolutely. Everyone's a legend. Liza's a legend. EL. Like, Io is incredible. Like, it's nuts, though. Lionel is such a G. Like, it is, like, being around all of these amazing people and having something like what happened to the bear happen at this moment is such a wild thing, and it's not taken for granted, and it's so, like, every day I wake up, I'm like, dang, like, that, it happened, and it's just, like, it is so cool.
It's really
like, straight
cool.
up.
It's cool
Yeah.
to watch.